Welcome to Miss Rowe Classroom. Today, we'll be discussing the poem For Anne Gregory by William Butler Yeats. This poem was highly relevant in the old, traditional transactional world and remains so in today's artificial, social media obsessed society of netizens. Buckle up and please like, subscribe and share the video. For Anne Gregory examines the contrast between outer beauty and inner qualities. The speaker notes that young men are drawn to Anne's beautiful yellow hair rather than her true self. Anne suggests dyeing her hair to see if someone would love her for who she is. The poem concludes with the poet mentioning that an old religious man once said that only God can love a person for their inner nature, free from the influence of appearance. It emphasizes the superficiality of human love and the rarity of genuine affection. Let's begin with the line-by-line explanation of the poem. Never shall a young man, thrown into despair by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear, love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. Never shall a young man thrown into despair. The speaker claims that no young man will act any differently than he is about to describe. Young men become emotionally disturbed or deeply affected by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear. They are overwhelmed by the attractive golden color of her hair. Her thick, beautiful hair is compared to protective walls that surround her face. Love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. The speaker believes men will not love her for who she is. Instead, men love her mainly because of her beautiful blonde hair, not who she truly is. The poem explores how physical beauty rather than inner qualities often influences love. Young men fall into despair, confusion, helplessness, or emotional overwhelm because of Anne's beauty. The word despair also hints at the difficulty of forming genuine connections when appearances overshadow deeper qualities. The speaker expresses concern that Anne is admired mainly for her yellow hair, a sign of superficial attraction. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there. Anne argues that she can change her appearance if she wants to. She can dye her hair any color, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair. She lists possible colors, brown, black or carrot red, to show her freedom to alter her appearance. She believes men will react emotionally even if her hair color changes. May love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. She hopes changing her hair will make men notice her real personality. She wants to be valued for who she truly is, not for her physical beauty. Anne suggests dyeing her hair to prove that appearance can be changed and should not determine who someone loves. I heard an old religious man but yesternight declare that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear, could love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. I heard an old religious man but yesternight declare. The speaker refers to a wise, old religious person. The old man made a statement the previous night that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear. He claims to have found evidence in a religious scripture. According to that text and him, only God is capable of pure, unconditional love. could love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. God alone can love someone for their inner qualities and true nature. Unlike humans, God does not judge based on physical beauty. The introduction of the old religious man adds a spiritual viewpoint to the poem. He claims that only God can love a person for their true inner self, without being influenced by external appearance. The poem ultimately suggests that genuine, unconditional love is rare and difficult to find in human relationships. Let's move to the analysis of the poem. First, tone. The poem's tone is contemplative, as the speaker reflects deeply on the nature of love. It is also gently cautionary, as the speaker worries about Anne being valued only for her beauty. The poem remains introspective throughout, encouraging readers to think about authenticity in relationships. Second, type. The poem is a love-themed poem, but it approaches love thoughtfully and philosophically. It examines the difference between surface-level attraction and sincere emotional connection. Third, structure. The poem is written in 18 lines, divided into 3 stanzas of 6 lines each, forming 3 sestets. Each stanza follows a specific rhyme scheme: A, B, C, D, E, B. Second stanza, F, B, G, B, E, B. Third stanza, H, B, I, D, E, B. Next point is important. The poem is structured like a conversation, allowing multiple perspectives on love to emerge. To a layman, the poem sounds like a conversation. The poet opens, "Anne, people only love you for your yellow hair." Anne challenges, "Well, I can always change my hair color and I would be loved the same." Again, the poet replies, "Well, yesterday I heard an old man say that only God can love you without change." The poem includes 3 perspectives on love: the poet's, Anne's, and the old man's. Next point is symbolism. First, Anne Gregory's yellow hair. It symbolizes external beauty and superficial attraction. It represents the qualities that people notice first, often preventing them from appreciating one's inner character. Second, hair dye. Anne suggests changing her hair color to brown, black, or carrot red. Hair dye symbolizes altering outward appearance to test or influence how people perceive them. Third, ramparts. It refers to her thick, beautiful hair around her face. The ramparts symbolize barriers or walls created by external beauty. They suggest that physical attractiveness can act like a fortress, preventing others from truly seeing or understanding the person within. Next point is theme. First, superficial nature of human love. The poem clearly shows that human beings often focus on physical beauty rather than inner qualities. Attraction to Anne's blonde hair symbolizes how love can be based on external appearance. Anne's idea of dyeing her hair is a metaphor for changing outward traits to test whether love can go beyond the surface. Second, search for true inner love. The poem evokes a desire for genuine, unconditional love that values character over beauty. The contemplation of altering appearance reflects the universal human concern. Will anyone love me for who I truly am? Third, spiritual love. The introduction of the old religious man in the final stanza brings in the idea of divine love, which is pure and unconditional. Yeats uses this figure to emphasize that only God can see and love a person's true self without being influenced by outward beauty. Fourth, and the most important point in the theme section: contrast between mortal and divine love. The poem draws a clear line between human love, often imperfect and appearance-driven, and divine love, flawless and based on the soul. The religious man's claim reinforces that humans struggle to love beyond physical beauty, while God alone possesses this capacity. To summarize the explanation, For Anne Gregory presents a thoughtful reflection on the nature of love and the value placed on physical beauty. Through the dialogue between the speaker and Anne, Yeats shows how easily human affection becomes tied to outward appearance. Anne's wish to change her hair color reveals a deep desire to be loved for who she truly is. At the same time, the religious man's words emphasize that such unconditional love is rare among humans and belongs entirely to the divine. The poem ultimately encourages readers to look beyond appearance and recognize the importance of inner character in meaningful relationships. For more in-depth study of the poem, visit our reference website misroclassroom.com for exam-oriented summaries, literary devices, character sketches, extract-based questions, and extra questions for Class 10. In the next session, we'll analyze the play The Proposal by Anton Chekhov. If you enjoyed the content, ask questions, subscribe, like, and share the video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye-bye.